So here we are at the little lake again, same place as before, but as you can see it's a bit different. This is post-hurricane and quite a lot of limbs down here, but all small ones until we get around the corner a bit and you'll see some bigger trees down. But this was a result of Hurricane Milton, which fortunately we got through without too much damage. We lost a little bit of the metal cladding off the top of the gutter at the top of the house, second floor, and some of the sheets that go under the eaves. But apart from that, we got off pretty light. We have a garden that looks like that, but I'll include some photographs I took immediately after the storm in this video. But yeah, this is the park. I don't see any damage to these buildings or anything. In fact, I don't see much damage to that many buildings around here at all. It's mainly trees that came down. And it's quite amazing, I still see people around here with big oak trees right next to the houses. Now we had one of them, and I think after the first time we were here, the first hurricane that happened after we were here, or the first tropical storm, we thought that's got to go, because if that goes down it's taking the house with it. So we got that chopped down. But yeah, there's a lot of people here with big trees next to their properties, and you got to wonder what's going on in their minds. But yeah, so I've got Jack with me today again. He's not been getting much walks lately because of all this stuff, but he's happy out. There he goes. And he's coming out and having a look at the ducks, which have survived too. And, as you can see, there's not much on this side. It just depends which way the wind came. Around here, obviously, it was coming from that direction. But here, there's not much down at all. It's quite strange. It's when the storm first started, we got real torrential rain, and then I stayed up all night because I wanted to see what was going on, just in case something did happen to the house that required some immediate attention while everybody else was sleeping. But we got torrential rain and some pretty high winds, but I mean nothing really bad. And then it went real calm. So calm actually that I could go outside and walk around the house without any problem at all. It was just like a normal kind of breezy day. And then about an hour after that, we just got hammered really bad. And that's when most of the damage was done, because as I say, I went out to have a look after the first storm came in, and it wasn't that bad. There wasn't that many trees down or branches or anything. But when I went out in the morning, it was like a different world. It's quite amazing. But I did find the pieces of the roof that came off, so I've got them. So I just need to find somebody to get up there and put it back on, because it's way too high for me to get up there. But thankfully, we got a guy last time. He lives quite a distance away, and he just happened to be in the area, who fixed a similar problem we had after the last hurricane. And all the work he did was good. It all stayed on. So I might try and get in touch with him again, because we had water coming through the last time in like 3 or 4 different areas, and we got nothing, not a single drop of water came in the house this time. So yeah, we'll try and get a hold of him, see if he can get up there again and do his thing. But here we are. See, this side is just this moss that goes in the trees, this stuff up here. That's all that's come down on this side of the lake. It's really quite strange, because I mean there's nothing here. Well, a couple of little branches here, but they might have come from somewhere else. But yeah, I mean there is of course talk about weather modification, and as I say, I was tracking this from like a few days before and just watching it, and quite literally this storm was heading west into Mexico and did a complete 180 U-turn and started coming back towards Florida. And somebody tracked a flight, a NOAA flight, N-O-A-A, the weather people, and it did exactly the same pattern at the same time, or around the same time. So you got to wonder, right, in terms of weather modification. And there's actually a tabletop exercise done, I think it was 2008 or 2009, called Operation Phoenix. Now of course the Phoenix rises out of the ashes, right? And this, very similar to Event 201, was depicting a Cat 5 storm rising in strength very rapidly, coming across from the Gulf, from the west to east, which is unusual here, and slamming into Tampa on exactly the same track as they put up for this one. So you have to wonder, right? You really have to wonder. And here's some of the damage here. We're now getting into, obviously the wind was a lot stronger here, and it was whipping around this corner. Kind of confuses Jack because he's wondering what's happened to his normal routine straight line walking. He's got to walk around things now. He's kind of a bit curious as to what happened. But yeah, Jack was okay during the storm, quite surprisingly, because he's quite scared of thunder and lightning, but we didn't get any of that. We just got the wind and the rain. But yeah, and of course we have Hurricane Helene, or Helen, whatever you want to call it, where we see evidence of weather modification in terms of steering that hurricane right into where they wanted it to be. And just yesterday I saw something that the company who's doing the BlackRock Vanguards, these types of people, are doing the home inspections up there to see if it's okay for you to stay in your home. They just happen to be the same people that want to mine there. Isn't that handy? And the same company is going to come down to Florida and do exactly the same here. And Tampa is listed as a potential 15-minute city. And guess who's involved in that? Of course, Bill Gates. And Bill Gates, of course, is involved in weather modification, geoengineering. So, and he owns, I think they said 40, I can't remember, it's 40 million or $40 billion of seafront property in Tampa. Bill Gates, right? So there's just another piece of circumstantial evidence that makes the weather modification deliberate hurricane steerage phenomenon much more viable, I would suggest. Here's one of the bigger trees that's down here. A nice oak tree. I should get down here with my chainsaw and get some firewood for the winter. That'd be good. Jack's tangling me up here. I need to spin around. Very hard to control Jack when you only got one hand, but he's a strong dog, ain't you, Jack? And he's got to investigate everything now because it's all different. Come on, Jack. So yeah, you see all the palm fronds they got blown down here. Yeah, so that takes us to Wyoming. Now in Wyoming, they're having forest fires, wildfires. And it just so happens, again, just pure coincidence, that the area with the most intense and largest wildfires just happens to be in an area where there are extremely large rare mineral deposits, which companies like BlackRock, etc., want to go and mine. And the locals, of course, as in Asheville, up in North Carolina, have been totally against this because it's going to devastate their environment. So, Jack's tangling me up again. Jack, come on. Come on. So, again, another coincidence, right? And I'm sure their home inspectors will be the same people that want to do the mines. And what can you do about it? I mean, what can you do about weather weapons? Nothing. Because people just wouldn't believe that people could be so evil. They just wouldn't believe it. So how do you convince them of this? Even when they can see it with their own eyes. Even when they can look up in the sky and see it. Yes, it's amazing. It's amazing what's been done to people. How they can deny their own senses. And I wonder what's coming next. We've had, not necessarily in that order, but we've got Wyoming, fire. We've got North Carolina, flood. And Florida, just had a tempest. It's kind of biblical, isn't it? I said to Paula, don't be surprised if it don't hit us again, because they didn't quite manage to steer it right into Tampa Bay, which is exactly where they wanted it to go, because that would have caused them most damage. So I guess they're not fully in control of these things in terms of precision, but I guess they don't have to be. If they make it devastating enough, then they can cause as much damage as they possibly want to. But I think, just a theory of mine, that's my opinion, I think they had to weaken it to make sure that they could steer it better. I think if it gets too strong, they have possibly more trouble steering it. So maybe that's why it didn't hit as a Cat 5. I mean, incidentally, within a couple of hours, this went from a Cat 1 or Cat 2 to Cat 5. It's totally unheard of. It usually takes a day or so for it to go up a level like that. And here's the size of that tree that came down there. That's a big tree. There's a lot of firewood there. Unfortunately, there's not really anywhere to park. Bring the Jeep down, but I might I'll pick some up from the side of the road. I did yesterday. A neighbour's oak tree came down, so I've said to him, do you mind if I cut that up and I'll take all the wood off you? And he said, help yourself. So I don't have to go that far as the lake here. But yeah, weather modification, what can you do about it? Well, nothing. Even the weather, Met Éireann in Ireland admits to weather modification, and yet we're called conspiracy theorists. It's quite wrong, and you say that to people, that this is admitted. There are hundreds of patents for it. There's evidence, documentation that they've tried this, and they're still doing it, and yet people don't believe it. It's quite amazing. And then they get a storm like this, or wildfires, or floods, or whatever it may be, and you go, you know, they're messing with the weather. And they have been for decades. And they go, oh, they wouldn't do that, would they? No, just like they wouldn't inject you with a poison that's going to kill you and your children. So, yeah, what can you do? You can't convince people even when the evidence is right in front of their eyes. There's somebody fishing down there. He'll have a job there getting that in through the weeds. But good luck. Anyway, come on, Jack, come on. Jack's been a pain in the butt ever since this hurricane, and his usual routine, his usual route has been disrupted. So he's sniffing at everything. There he is. Come on, Jack, come on, come on. Come on, Jack, come on. He doesn't want to move. I guess it's all the new smells, because normally this is where people walk their dogs here, so generally stick in the grass. But he's fishing for bass. He's got a plastic lure on there. It's called a Cinco. I pulled a 4.5 pound bass out of there, just up there, right next to the bank. It was actually my first bass I caught here. It was in that lake. But yeah, Jack, sniff, 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 sniff. There's a palm tree down there. Most of them, I'm surprised that stayed on. Jack, come on. Maybe we should have done this without Jack. A lot easier. But Jack is Jack. He said as soon as he hears the keys rattle, he knows we're going to the park. There's another one down here. Yeah, no shortage of firewood this winter. People think, why have you got fire in Florida? Well, Our house has 3 chimneys, 4 fireplaces, and it's over 100 years old. In the winter here, you know, you can get up in the morning. It's at 0 degrees. It might be 60 or 70 in the afternoon, but it's still cold in the morning. Light the fire. Got one in the kitchen. It's kind of open plan downstairs. Got a big kind of parlour area, it's called. We've got a lot of trees down here. And we light the one in the kitchen. It's the only one we use actually. It's the biggest one. And if I can find a cast iron boiler, I'll put one in there. But that generally heats up the whole downstairs. And of course the heat travels upstairs. And we're alright. But it's better than putting the AC on, because our AC only works upstairs. And $15,000 for a new AC unit for downstairs, forget it. I think I'll just chop up some wood. But anyway, here we are, back at the car park. And yeah, it's the park. They are cleaning up the main park, and I think they've cleaned up some of the areas here because there's children's playground there. They've cleaned most of that up. So yeah, we'll see how quickly they get onto the rest of it. Can I say Jack? 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 Yeah, good boy. Okay, leave it at that.